romantically or sexually. So that's the only relationship style under the non-monogamy umbrella where you can have more than one romantic partner. So to save the relationship is another reason to, that unfortunately I see far too often. Kind of similar situation to like when a couple is like, oh, our relationship's breaking down, we can't communicate, we're not having enough sex, let's have a baby. So kind of similar logic here. Monogamish relationships, which is where you know, like you are monogamous for the most part, but you might have, you know, like a whole pass policy or make kind of certain exceptions for, or, you know, if one of you goes on a night out or something like that, or if you're traveling. So, you know, kind of any, like, any activity outside the relationship is going to be the exception rather than the norm. And then we've got swinging, which I would personally kind of somewhere in the middle of that spectrum. So swinging is an agreement where you as a couple go out and have, you know, recreational group sex with other people. So, you know, other couples, like other single couples, you might have occasional threesomes, you might go to sex parties, all that jazz. But then the aim is still, you know, you're doing it together as a couple, right? You know, it's kind of like a couples activity that you do together. And then further, so yeah, I mean, there are some exceptions to this. So for example, if there's like an issue of compatibility in terms of like your libido, if like one partner is very high libido, the other is very low, is your partner won't stop cheating. So I see this sometimes where someone is like, oh, you know, like no matter what I say, like my partner just keeps cheating on me, so I've just kind of given up. I've just given up, you know, they can just do what I want, you know, like, because like if I try and like tell them what to down, you don't, if you haven't kind of discussed your expectations beforehand, like, you know, like are the three of you going to kind of take turns like pleasuring each other? Like is someone happy watching? Are you kind of happy being watched? Like what, you know, there's so many different ways, like for even something small like that. This can vary from person to person. So kind of personal example, you know, I don't mind hearing like whatever details my partner is comfortable with sharing, and also more importantly, what like, you know, whoever he's engaging with is comfortable with sharing, right? Because it's really important not to just respect the boundary. Is that basically it challenges like the idea of like a hierarchy between relationships, particularly the hierarchy that we must have our one monogamous romantic partner at the top, and then everyone else is kind of second to our like one and only true love soulmate other half person. It also kind of challenges you know, the idea that we have to follow standard scripts for like what any kind of connection looks like. So, you know, a platonic, you know, romantic, sexual, professional, kind of whatever. Like the idea is like, you know, you you customize your commitments according to what the people in the relationship actually want, rather than just kind of going with what everyone else is doing. Once I kind of break it down like that, it sounds like common sense. But you would be surprised at the number of people who don't do this and who just kind of go along with convention. You know, they kind of delegate like certain things as like, you know, strictly platonic and certain things as strictly romantic, right? The boundaries between those are much more fluid than we have been taught. So yeah, relationship anarchy is about that. It's not like the name. I think some people can find it a little bit misleading because anarchy, a lot of people interpret to mean chaos. But that isn't the case. Anarchy is just about, you know, like questioning the norms, questioning kind of hierarchy. But that doesn't mean, you know, you can do whatever you want. So yeah, the relationship anarchy smorgasbord is a really helpful program for kind of customizing your relationships, because it has both be the same type of non-monogamous. So I'm polyamorous. I have 2 romantic partners at the moment, and my anchor partner, who I live with, he's kind of more like non-monogamous. He's happy like friends with benefits and kind of casual sex, and, you know, go to the occasional party here and there. You don't have to be practicing the same type of non-monogamy. You don't even have to both be practicing polyamory. You know, there are relationships between monogamous and polyamorous people. The monogamous person is fine with like their polyamorous partner dating other people. You know, these relationships are rare, admittedly, but they do exist and they do work long term. It just takes the right people and the right mindset. You know, once you're in a relationship, you go from, you know, dating to being exclusive, and then you date for kind of some period of time, and then someone proposes, you get married, you buy a house, you have kids, and you live together until you die. And it's called the relationship escalator and not the relationship ladder or relationship stairs, because it's unconscious. You just kind of get on it and you just go. And so basically, like, that book is about like questioning the relationship escalator, questioning the concept of an escalator. Like, you know, does a relationship necessarily like have to be more serious or more committed just because you're living together, just because you're married, for example? So yeah, you know, like talking about the relationship escalator, talking about kind of the steps you can take and can't take with certain partners is really, really important. 2-for-1 deals, and I don't know, just like, and the fact that marriage, you can only marry one person, and you know, family bundles, and you know, like, there's a lot of things, Valentine's Day, like things that cater to the monogamous couple, and so, you know, a lot of things go unquestioned. And this ends up being a case where you know, couples may have like a very strict agreement, like the honeymoon phase of a relationship, right? Like when, you know, you get like butterflies and all rainbows and sunsets and whatever. So a really common mistake that people make is, you know, obsessing over like a partner and then neglecting their other partners in the process. I see this way too often, unfortunately, and this is an issue of time management, and also impulse management as well. It's important, like when you're in a new relationship, however like passionate and exciting it feels, that you don't overcommit, that you don't like overpromise and spend all your time with this person, talk all the time about it, like this, you know, and always just spend all your time and energy on this partner if you have other existing partners. In a monogamous relationship, this has fewer issues. I mean, you still hear of people who like jealousy. Can you be polyamorous or non-monogamous if you feel jealousy? You know, what is jealousy? How you just, yeah, like, it's clearly like a really big topic, so it would be remiss of me to not address it at any point during the workshop. So my opinion on jealousy is that, to be honest, it is usually comprised of a bunch of other emotions. So if anyone has read the Jealousy Workbook by Kathy Lemmer, she kind of breaks down jealousy broadly into 3 core emotions, which are fear, anger, and sadness. Obviously, it gets more complicated than that. You know, like, can be fear of like a bunch. You could be angry about a bunch of different things. You can be sad about a